district.
Perfect.
Sì, ho accettato.
We need to have the okay from all the participants. Just click on the bottom. Perfect. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. I think that all the participants have to agree. That's why we have this delay. So
I agree.
Silvia, it's okay. If you boost the privacy policy, it's okay. Silvia, can you hear us?
Yes, yes.
Yes, perfect.
We can hear you.
Let me start with this quick presentation of the project. So we are here from the Hellenic Institute of Transport. We are leading the project, and we are very happy to see you all today here, because it's July and it's hot and you are there. So we have the commitment of our friends here. TERRAIN project, winning an engagement in net zero transport transition. The project is funded by INTERRAIN IPA Adrion program 2021-2027 and focuses exactly on what the title says, urban transportation transformation in the Adriatic-Ionian region. Our core goal is to foster innovation and collaboration for sustainable net zero mobility. As it's heard, TERRAIN is about commitment to both climate goals, climate neutrality goals, and community needs. We aim to transform transportation systems across partner cities by supporting EU climate mission on smart and sustainable cities. So through citizen participation and stakeholders participation, innovation and strong partnership with the rest partners of the project, TERRAIN strives to make climate neutral cities. To be the new norm and not the exception. So how does TERRAIN actually work? Through a collaborative approach, we use living labs and mentorship to share knowledge and implement solutions. We have 5 mentee cities and we have 4 mentors. And altogether 9 living labs in all these areas that serve as platform to test, co-create and adapt mobility solutions and make sustainable urban mobility planning a very easy procedure. So TERRAIN builds bridges both locally and transnationally. We follow a structured process to tackle mobility issues, diagnosis, co-creation, pilot actions and SUMP feeding, knowledge sharing. The webinars is part of this knowledge sharing, and we evaluate the impacts, and then we make proposals for sustainable urban mobility planning and net zero transition in the Adriatic-Ionian area. So I'm very happy today to co-host with the organizers of this webinar, Bologna Municipality, and thanks to Silvia, this third webinar on integrated public transport and multimodal solutions. Our speakers will present interventions that have a proven impact on enhancing urban mobility, so it's a very good opportunity to explore how well integrated systems can create seamless and sustainable journeys for all of us. So special thanks to our speakers and many thanks to all the participants that are here. Hope we will all gain the insights that we need. Back to you, Silvia. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Glykeria, for giving us a taste of the TERRAIN project. And let's now proceed with our speakers. So they gave us their availability to stay until the end of the webinar, so we can have a Q&A session at the end of the webinar, at the end of all the presentations. But if someone needs to leave and has a question, please feel free to ask after each presentation in case. So I would like to welcome Mr. Tom Vinck as a first speaker from the city of Antwerp. In Belgium. He is an architect and urbanist, and he's working for the Department of City Development on mobility and infrastructural projects. He is also leader of the Smart Hubs project and is also involved with the station, new tram lines, and so on. And its presentation will focus on a hot theme, let's say, for intermodality, which is precisely mobility hubs. And as an example of how to connect the existing mobility options and networks at urban level. And so please, Mr. Vinck, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Silvia. I hope you can all hear me well. I will share my screen and start the presentation. It should work now.
Yes, it's perfect. Thank you.
Okay. So maybe a small introduction who we are first. Wait, my screen doesn't move. Always the same. Okay, who are we? We are the city of Antwerp, probably the most northern city here at the table today. In Belgium, next to the border of the Netherlands, and we are a city of approximately 500,000 inhabitants in the city itself, but in the wider region we are almost up to 1 million or maybe a bit higher. So it's a big region, and we work together with the region to coordinate some things and a lot of things on mobility. But of course, in the city we are the front runners. Maybe we try to be the best best of the class, and take the rest of the region with us. We have a lot of shared mobility options in the city, like Velo, which are the bikes here in the second picture, known also from Barcelona and some other cities, which is a huge success in the city of Antwerp. Then we have others like Blue Bike, Donkey, which are electrical. They are the third picture in orange. Steps and scooters and cars that can be shared. And these are all rather new, but they come as an addition to the public transport, of course, that you see in the first picture, with trams and buses and some underground trams, etc. We have the luck that there is a lot of these options, and there are even 87% of the inhabitants live within 5 minutes walking distance of such a Velo station, and even more to a bus stop, etc. So the mobility in the city is rather good, but still there's a lot of cars once you go a bit more to the outskirts of the city. And in the map you see in the top right corner, you can see all the different spots in the city where all these functions are situated. In orange bike symbol, these are these Velo station things, like in the second picture, and all the others have their own color. And you can see that all these functions or all these services are present, but are rather dispersed in the city, are not very good coordinated with each other. They all have their own network and logic for being in the city. So our goal is to make it even more attractive to use these different options and to combine these different options. And we do this by connecting these networks. We have two ways to do this. First, there is a multimodal route planner that you see in the first picture. This will help people going from point A to point B using different options. So it's not that you have to choose for choosing the bike or choosing the car or choosing the shared mobility step, for example, but you can find a way to combine these options in the best way. So first take your step, then take the bus, and then take another step, for example. So this is one big thing we have, and which does a good part of the job. But then we are also working on physical mobility hubs, bringing these different mobility options together in hubs. So the map in the previous page was all dispersed, and we want to bring these together in more compact hubs where you can easily move from one option to the other option. We want these hubs to be easy, reliable, accessible, comfortable, pleasant, of course. And we selected 130 locations in the city where we would like to optimize these things. And this is even part of a bigger network of hop-in nodes in the bigger region. So it's only in the city that we have 130 locations on the map. They are all not all completed, of course. It's an ongoing process. How do we do this? Here you see the map in more detail. Left is all of the city, right is a bit more zoomed in. And we divided all these locations in different typologies and categories in colors and dots that are bigger or smaller, as you can see here. We have 5 colors, and these are mainly the types of these hubs. Some are yellow colored, and these are the neighborhood hubs where people go into the system. They start their journey in the morning. In red, that's the third one maybe. Then we have the locations where people go to. These are destinations. People didn't come there earlier. They have to be helped to find their way. The stations like the shared mobility station should be mostly empty because people go there with their steps and scooters and bikes, etc. And then the 5th one is in blue. These are the purely transfers like park and rides, etc. People come there and go again, move on again very quickly. So they just do some transfer, and some people come there for the first time too. And we have 2 colors in between to make 5 in total. And out of this typology, we see different things that we should provide in these smart hubs, and it differs for all type of hub, which services we really need to provide. So this is a more elaborated schedule of these 5 types and what services we should give them. Some are nice to have, some are must-haves, some we don't need at that location. So this is our theoretical scheme of what we would like to have in every of these hubs. We add this selection and typology with its own analysis on the location itself, with a survey and with other people. We do some questionnaires, and sometimes we do site visits, and so we make a program for this location that we then try to make into a concept design and get approvals, etc., and try to realize this. I hear someone else. Can someone mute the microphone? Thank you. In blue here, we have 4 themes that we are really working on. First of all, these hubs should be accessible for everyone. They should readable. That needs a good overview, and people have to find their way even if they come there for the first time. Thirdly, they should be comfortable, and 4th, they should be complete. Now, it will never be complete, but we try to make every service that was in the schedule to happen there. This will not always be successful, but we try to make them as complete as possible. But this is an ongoing process, of course. This was the way we work on one hub, but there are some services that we have to that we did make new to provide these services. We made wayfinding, like in the first picture, to help people read some hubs. Some hubs will be bigger and not readable at once, and then we need wayfinding to bring people from the one service to the other. For the comfort, we designed canopies, and for the as an extra service, we designed secured bicycle parking for travelers that come there only once maybe and don't need abonnements, etc. They just can come there for one time and still have their bike securely parked. In this way, we this is a schedule of how we work on these hubs. Left is the first situation as it is today. Then in the second picture, you see the additions that we want to have there. We try to make everything more compact and add some extra services. Then we try to improve the readability and look for the walking routes on this location, and see that they are all readable, clean, etc. And where needed, we can add then these wayfinding info carriers. I think I should move a bit more quickly. So this is a case for one location that I can move more quickly over it. This is a questionnaire that we did to finalize the program. This is a result of this questionnaire. Then we have this scheme of what is needed there. This is our program that we want to make it happen there. And then this is the design for this hub, the walkways and the locations where people have to choose which way to go, and then the integration of these wayfinding things. The secured bicycle parking you see here, and this is a bigger location. The first was a smaller location. This is a bigger location in the center of the city, the Opera Plain, with not only on the ground floor but also in the lower floors, different options from tram and bus, etc. So this is a location where all is combined in the most complex way, and that we now finalized. And this is a further planning, but maybe this is not very needed to explain more. This is my last slide. So thank you for your attention, and if you have any more questions, we can answer them later on, or as well by email, of course.
Thank you very much, Mr. Vinck. I think you gave us a very interesting insight on how complex it is to connect all the available services, mobility services in urban nodes. And I think 130 nodes is a very big number. So you identified all this big number of places to be transformed into hubs, let's say. And thank you also for giving details about all what is needed, so all the processes that are needed to realize this place, this mobility hubs. And we know it's very demanding to connect everything. So the analysis phase, the involvement of the users through the surveys, as you mentioned, the design of space, and the tailoring of the services in every different place. So thank you for sharing with us. And just for the audience, just interrupt us if you have any questions. Otherwise, I would proceed towards our second speaker. And this is another example on how cities can connect the existing mobility services to make them more effective. And I would like to welcome and to give the floor to Mrs. Tatiana Brusco, expert in mobility planning for the Metropolitan City of Bologna, and with a focus on public transport and integration strategies within the Bologna Sustainable Urban Mobility Plan. She will tell us about the Metropolitan Railway Service and the testing of the first urban railway crossing service. So please, Tatiana, the floor is yours.
Hello to everyone. Good morning. So I'll try to share my presentation. Okay, I think you can see it.
Actually,
Can you see
not?
No? Perfect. Then try again. Let me know if you see it, because I tried again.
No, we cannot see it.
I can try in another way, maybe. Sorry for that. I think the sharing is activated, but then it disactivated by itself. So I don't know.
I can see you as speaker. I cannot change any other right here.
Okay.
So
Just a moment. I try to. Okay. No, something is wrong, because.
So Tatiana, I can try to share.
Okay.
the presentation.
No problem.
Okay. Okay, do you see it now?
Yes.
Okay.
I can't see it.
You can't see it.
I don't know. I don't know why.
Sorry. So maybe I can share the presentation and you can
I can
talk
see.
and then.
Okay. I can see the presentation, but I don't know. So let's. Okay, no problem. Let's start from the slide 3, number 3.
Yes, so SFM before 2023.
I can see the presentation, but it's the same. I'll tell you when change the slide. So, okay. As Silvia said, today I'll present you the Bologna Metropolitan Railway Service. There is a project born more than 25 years ago, so I'll try to be brief, but I think it's important to give you some just some milestones to start. So the development of the Bologna Metropolitan Railway Service, SFM, started in late 90s alongside the Bologna High-Speed Rail Station project. The first agreement was signed in 1997 by the Ministry of Transport, the Emilia-Romagna region, the city and the province of Bologna. Metropolitan City of Bologna is the former province of Bologna, just to know. And the agreement was signed also by the railway manager FS and the high-speed railway company TAB. The agreement aimed to integrate the regional rail already operating in our territory on the 8 corridors that you can see on the map, and the high-speed rail investments. And the agreement wants to define a metropolitan service to support commuting and modal shift. A second agreement in 2007, signed by the region, the province of Bologna and the city of Bologna, FS, formally defined the SFM network, the service model, and the network updates needed as the cross-city corridors and the new stations. After that agreement, several improvements were made, like new stations and service increase around 2010. However, from the 2015, the project slowed down and no significant upgrades were made anymore till 2023. And this despite the relaunch of SFM in our SAMP, as we see in next slide. Okay, I can go on, I think. Okay, when preparing our sustainable urban mobility plan, analysis of travel patterns across the metropolitan area found that the 65% of the car-based interchange trips were originated from municipalities already served by the Metropolitan Railway Service. This shows how strategic this infrastructure already was, and the importance of completing the project following some defined principles, as an adequate number of stations close to where people lived and work, cross-city services that connect suburbs directly, avoiding long transfers in Bologna Central Station, time schedules easy to remember, good integration with buses and private transport, a unified system, a unified fare system, and coordinating park policy in the city. One of the main functions of SFM is to support commuting to Bologna, minimizing transport time losses and distributing mobility across the whole urban area. So I think you can go to the next slide. Thank you, Silvia. Sorry for that.
Problem.
For this reason, the SAMP, adopted by the Metropolitan City of Bologna in 2019, confirmed the validity of the original SFM vision from the 2007, introducing only minor adjustments based on updated forecasts, and so confirm the basic structure made of 3 cross-city lines, S1, S2, and S4, that you can see on the map in red, green, and blue. 2 lines in Bologna Central Station Terminal, a total of 87 stations that now are 81. A differentiation between local and express services, timetable with 15-minute intervals in major stations and never more than 30 minutes elsewhere. Service from 6 a.m. and to 10 p.m., including weekends. Recognizable corporate design and a metropolitan level coordination. So, in short, the SAMP made the SFM a priority to achieve the model split targets and a central tool for sustainable mobility in our territory. You can go to the next, thank you. So, a key part of the SFM is the urban railway crossing service, the Passante Urbano, consisting in the overlapping of different lines in Bologna area and inner suburb. This crossing service allows trains to continue across the city instead of stopping in Bologna Central Station. Its objectives are to distribute trips toward destinations beyond the current barrier of Bologna Central Station, enable earlier transfer between lines, and connect all crossing stations with the new tram system under development. The most relevant cross-city line for the number of stations served is SFM1, that is the red one on the map, always the red one on the map. And then you can go to the next slide, thank you. In 2023, a new memorandum of understanding signed by Emilia-Romagna region, City of Bologna, and Metropolitan City, that, as I said before, is the former province of Bologna, marked a new turning point for the implementation of the SFM, with particular regard to the first city cross-city service, SFM1. That, as I said, is the red corridor on the map, activated in June 2024 and fully operational by last September. The memorandum included also some more measures like night buses services and a new all-stop SFM service between Bologna and Modena. That started from December 2024. Next slide, please. Okay, let's see some results of this last upgrade. Focusing on the first crossing city service, the results of the first months were very positive. Passengers numbers have increased significantly, with many urban stations see growth above 70%, in particular in section between Pianoro and Bologna Central Station, where the offer doubled. If we consider the urban section between Pianoro and Casalecchio, we now have 4 trains per hour. 2 of them are cross-city services. The travel between the 2 ends, Pianoro and Casalecchio, is 40 minutes. That is similar or better in peak hour than by car, almost 30 kilometers in terms of distance. And the train ticket is fully integrated with the local bus fare. On a metropolitan scale, we recorded an increase of 17% in rail trips in just 1 year. So this confirms that the SFM is already changing mobility choices and has even more potential if it will be fully developed. Okay, next slide, that is the last for me. So, of course, there is still a long way to go. In fact, today we have only 1 cross-city line out of 3. The total number of stations is 81 instead 87, and some sections still lack the needed infrastructure and technologies. Rolling stock is not always sufficient, and evening and holiday services are limited. The fare system and visual identity are not yet fully consistent, but most importantly, and I think this is the key, there is no a single body in charge for the implementation and the managing of the service of the SFM. Because the Metropolitan City of Bologna is the planning authority and obviously strongly support the project. But the region is responsible for the managing railway services and the service contract with the railway managers. So to make this system truly work, it is essential that all institutions at every level work together in a coordinated way. This need for shared governance, including a dedicated structure and an interinstitutional steering committee, is clearly confirmed by SAMS. Moreover, the SAMP monitoring phase has highlighted critical issues. There is a gap between planning and implementation of the SFM. And so this is why improving coordination and governance is not just a matter of principle, but it is necessary to turn the project into a fully operational system and to have all the potential of the system made assure for the future. Thank you. I think I finished. I don't know if my time finished.
Thank you, Tatiana. I think you gave us a good insight to see how sometimes things can change and improve by re-elaborating things around what is already around already available services. And I think it's a good example to remember us on how important it is sometimes to think out of the box in some way, despite the challenges we still have. So now let's go to the regional level, and with a double presentation, a double voice presentation, I would say, on the path, on the process that the Emilia-Romagna region is walking towards the digitalization and intermodality of local public transport through the realization of the regional MaaS, so mobility as a service. And I give the floor to Mr. Lantieri from the University of Bologna, from the Department of Civil, Chemical, Environmental and Materials Engineering, and to Mr. Lorenzo Fabbricatore, who he is a director software and platform of software and platforms, department at Lepida, and is responsible for the development and implementation of strategic projects for the Emilia-Romagna region. They represent today the working group of the regional MaaS. So please, Mr. Lantieri, say one.
Yes, I'm here, Silvia. Hello, hello. Thank you for the invitation. Thank you to all. With me, there is, you already say, Lorenzo Fabbricatore from Lepida. We divide the presentation in two parts because I make a very short presentation about the national program where comes the project MaaS for Air, that is called MaaS for Italy, and after Lorenzo can go more in detail about the number, the target in a regional level. So thank you for the invitation. I try to share my screen. Okay, I hope to be more lucky than Tatiana. I will try. Okay, can you see the screen?
Yes, perfectly.
I can start to describe the project, but before to start with the project, I want to spend a few words about MaaS. Probably all the people in the network already know the service, mobility as service, MaaS. What is it? But it's better to make a sort of refresh about the topic. In particular, is a service where you can find in a unique app, in a unique platform, different type of transport service, and you can book a trip from with a unique platform from different transport operator. This one is very important because for the users simplify a lot the possibility of travel and not and give the opportunity to book the ticket and not go to the single operator to pay it. The MaaS have different type of level. You can have a MaaS with a first level where you can only plan a travel, and you can go to increase the level of the platform, starting from the second level where you can pay for a single trip in a unique platform. You have an integrated platform where you can also insert other type of form of mobility service, and you arrive to start with a strategic MaaS where also other aspects connected, social, environmental, objective are defined, and the decision comes from the public governance. Another important thing to remember is what is a travel planner. Probably all the people know, but the travel planner is a situation where you can plan a trip using different type of transport system, starting from a unique app. And this one is very important because if you give the opportunity to make a travel planner from a unique app that change in real time, and you can book and pay the ticket from a unique app, you can simplify a lot the life of the user, but it could be also important for the administration, the governance, but also from the municipality have an instrument that allow it. Inside this important topic, start from 1 year, the national project with the PNRR Mass for Italy. That is a project that starts from the National Recovery and Resilience Plan that start to want to create in a national scale a composition where each mass operator that work on the system can upload in a unique service the data of mobility. In this context, is very important the activity of the Emilia-Romagna regions, because in the national project a lot of territory give the opportunity to work on the project, but at the end 7 territory won the project and start with the local activity project, and in particular the 7 areas involved in the project are Emilia-Romagna, Abruzzo, Campania, Piemonte, Bolzano, the territory of Bolzano in Trentino Alto Adige, Puglia and Veneto. So 7 regions, we call it in Italy, that participate in the territory and start to work for a national mass. In Italy, with these 7 territory, where there is also Emilia-Romagna, start the trial also in 3 big cities, Milano, Napoli and Roma, and 3 from PNRR and 3 cities from PNC, Bari, Firenze and Torino, with 2 living lab that was born and now started to work in Milano and Turin. In particular, the project want to try to increase the type of service and the possible to increase the modal share in the transport public level, increase the satisfaction of the travel to use the TPL, and try also to increase and the use of the mass operator for the users. In this situation, the Emilia-Romagna region start with the project Mass for Rare, where Rare is region Emilia-Romagna, with a very big campaign of communication and with some aspect connected with the problem and the local problem and the situation inside the Emilia-Romagna regions. Starting from that, I leave the floor with my colleague Lorenzo, that I hope that is ready to speak. I can continue with the slide for him. Lorenzo, are you in?
Thanks, Claudio. Good morning, everyone. Let's start with the Mass for Rare. Within this national strategy, Emilia-Romagna as a Mass for Rare project was funded with 2.3 million euros. The aim is to develop a regional mass integration platform that connects local transport operators with the national platforms. Secondly, it involves selected mass operators in order to offer mobility packages to users via apps, and to do so up to 2,500 pilot users are involved, with a special focus on people living in underserved areas and the people with disabilities. Just Claudio said, in this project we collaborate with the University of Bologna that leads the scientific evaluation of the trial. The next slide Here we show the comparison between the previous state and the innovation brought by Mas4Rare, a state shifting from fragmented services to coordinated digital system. No? With Mas4 Italy, several operators communicate with each other through standardized protocol given by European community, the NETEX and the Siri standard data, and also by using the regional and the national infrastructure, like the regional access point and the national access point and the SRM layer service. The next slide, here we have the trial that involves 2,500 users across the 1 year period from October 2024 to June 2025, and from a new extensions that start in September. Incentives are offered to encourage participation, a welcome bonus, and a monthly cashback for those who buy tickets through the travel planner. The next one, okay, this is the implementation timeline of the experimentation. In July 2024, a communication campaign to recruit pilot users has started. The experimentation started on October the 1st with the regional mass operator Roger. In the meantime, the public call for mass operators was launched, and we were able to add the second one in January 2025. The first phase of the experimentation ended in March with an extension up to June. Afterward, from August to September, we launched thematic mass bundles focused on connections with the airport and tourist destination. The next one slide. Here, parallel to the experimentation, we are conducting a data analysis. We have done already 5,000 interviews with people outside the pilot group to better understand the broader mass context and mobility behavior. A final ex-post analysis is scheduled for December 2025. Next one. To support recruitment, we launched the two-phase communication campaign. First, focused on recruiting participants, and the second one aims to boost mass usage using different channels. The next one. We have involved 7 transport and mobility providers, plus a sharing operator, and also the Bologna airport. The data integration is managed through standards like NETEX and Siri. This ensures interoperability and real-time information exchange, essentially for the mass functionality. The next one, from the 5 mass operators that were selected at the beginning, we have been working with the 2 which have finalized the onboarding. The next one. The two mass operators are Roger and Unigo that provide a user with access to different services. And next one. Early results are encouraging. We had the target of 2,000 500 users, and we reached already over 2,800 users. Of these, more than 1,200 users completed at least a mass trip, with the total of more than 7,800 trips at the end of March. Now we are on 14,000, I think. The next one. What's working well and what are the challenges? The Emilia-Romagna region had a favorable starting point. The AVM system on buses, the regional access point system already in place, and also active regional transport operator and the Roger Mass operator. However, we have faced difficulties in signing a new commercial agreement between transport operators and emerging mass operators. This is a challenge for the future scalability and competition. The last slide is just a representation of the services provided by the bus integration platform that we are developing. Thanks for your attention. I ended. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Lorenzo and Claudio, for this presentation. I know we are a bit late, as usually happens, but I would like just to stress a key point from, let's say, from a city perspective. So for me, being a city representative at this webinar, and this is the key importance of collaboration between public, these are different words, so public world, private world, and the research world for this kind of complex, very complex projects towards us, the same final objective, I would say. And now let's give the floor to Mr. Marco Amadori for our first presentation. Mr. Amadori is transport engineer at SRM Reti e Mobilità, which is the public transport agency of Bologna. He works on different European projects on public transport and mobility, mainly dealing with the technical aspects and management of pilot projects. And he will tell us about how it is possible to act on behavioral change through incentives and gamification, and will bring us the example of Bella Mossa campaign. So please, Marco.
Thank you. You should see my screen. I hope everything is working fine. So good morning, everybody. Thanks to the organizer for inviting me and giving me the possibility to present our initiative, Bella Mossa. A short introduction about SRM. We are the local authority of public transport. We are owned by the City of Bologna as the metropolitan area of Bologna, the metropolitan city of Bologna. In the metropolitan area lives around 1 million inhabitants, 400,000 in the main city of Bologna. The main activity of SRM are related to tendering and awarding public transport service for the whole metropolitan area, and only for the city of Bologna, the car and bike sharing services and the parking. Through the years, we have also organized some events, initiative of promotion of the sustainable mobility. It is the starting point. It is always the same: too many cars, too much traffic, and all related problems. And okay, to be honest, this is not always like this, because the picture was taken during a snowy day. Anyway, it's just to say that only one small problem can create a big problem in all the cities. So we have to find some solution. One of these we tested was an incentive scheme. We are used in the River Po Valley to have traffic restriction during the autumn and the winter period. More polluting vehicles are stopped, are not allowed to drive along the city and along the external area of Bologna. And then we tried to add during the rest of the year, so in spring and summer, a positive initiative. So from a negative initiative, we can say not so appreciated by people that cannot drive their car in winter, we try to add a positive initiative during summer, a sort of stick and the carrots. The traffic limitation can be considered the stick, while our initiative, Bella Mossa, which could be translated in well done, can be considered the good and the carrot. We then we added some more elements. In particular, we applied the gamification techniques. So first of all, we created a game, a very simple loop. There was an app you could track your trip. If it was made by sustainable vehicles, so by foot, by bicycle, train, bus, and carpooling, you could earn points. Then you can convert your points into vouchers and discounts in shops in the city, like supermarkets, cinemas, swimming pools, and so on. We were able to do all this with an app, Better Points app. They are committed in this kind of behavior change initiative. And it was able to track by GPS all our trips. They were validated, so the app validated that they were really done with bicycle and so on. And then they applied points. They rewarded users with the points. Then we had to find players, and our players was all the residents and the city users of Bologna. These are some screenshots of the app, just to give you an idea of how it works. This was the basic loop that I told you before. It ran through the whole period of the campaign, 6 months, from April to September. We performed the campaign in 2017 and 2018. And since the period was very, very long, 6 months was very long, we had to find a way to keep the attention of the participant high in order to avoid to lose them during the time. We added also some extra loop, we can call it extra loop. They had a shorter duration. They popped up during the period, and they give the opportunity to earn some additional extra point. For example, if you track a sustainable trip 5 out of 7 days, you could get extra point. If you was able to reach some special events by bicycle or by bus, you could earn extra point, and so on. Then, especially in the second edition, thanks to the experience made in the first one, we added also 2 further levels of gamification, the so-called work challenge and the school challenge. The work challenge was dedicated to local companies. There was a specific leaderboard among companies, and all the points that were collected by their employee were added to the company score. In this way, on one side, all companies were able to challenge each other to become the, let me say, the greener company of Bologna. And on the other side, within each company, employees could challenge each other. And so this boosted a lot the use of the app and the use mainly of sustainable modes of transport. On the other side, the school challenge was dedicated to primary school. So from 6 to 10 years old. We didn't ask to pupils to have students, but their parents, if they brought their kids, their children to school by foot or by cycle, that could add 1 special point to the theme of the school. And there were some prizes at the end, especially for School Challenge, some voucher for the school that could be used for buying stuffs for the schools, for students, and so on. So they were also pushed to make their best because there was a prize also for this category, not only for the single. These are some results from the second edition. We had 10,000 active participants. With active participant, I refer to participants that really used the app through times, so they are real participants. Vouchers and discounts were offered by more than 100 commercial partners, and we calculated that through the 3.7 million kilometers and 900,000 sustainable journey, we were able to save 720 tons of CO2. One of the most important things of this initiative was that since all the trips were tracked with GPS, we have a very deep level of detail of each single trip. And we collected really a lot of details about real trips of our citizens with date, time, origin, destination, all the route, all the speed, and so on. These are some examples of what you can do with all the data that were collected. This is a map. It's called a heat map of walking trips. The thicker the line, the more trips were collected on that route. The same for cycling, and the same for bus lines. And this is more white, as you can imagine, because these are the route of our bus lines. We make also a check, because one of the questions we asked was, are these data statistically significant for us? Can we use them? We compared the data of cycling with data collected by bike counter we have all around the city, and we found a good relationship between between the number of bicycles that were counted by the bike counters and what we collected from Bella Mossa app. So we could consider it a good result. We used this data, for example, on the field to locate some new bicycle racks that were bought in that period by the municipality. We used this data for making, as part of the data used by the SAMP, to make a picture of the mobility in the cities. So they had also a concrete, a real application on field for the city. Some conclusion, and I'm going to the end. I hope to save some time. Measuring people mobility behavior is possible. There are different levels of measurements. What we did is we consider it a deeper and so a bit more difficult level, because it's anyway expensive. It was funded, sorry, I didn't tell this, by a European project as well. But a deeper measurement does not mean accurate. It needs to be validated, and this is what we did. And in this case, the technology really helped us. But you have to give also an help to technology. In this case, applying gamification approach, we were able to use the technology at the best. Some resources, if you want to see, we have been interviewed by the BBC in that period that made a video on the campaign. So it's quite funny, because there is me talking in my good English. And also a more specific multi-state article on the magazine of Police Network. You can still find it online if you want. And the email for even some more requests you should have. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Marco, and also thank you for stressing the importance of understanding the user behavior, obviously to push towards a mindset change, but also to as a key aspect to improve the mobility services. So I would like to tell our audience that if they have some questions, you can also start writing them in the chat with the speaker reference. Since we are a bit late, then we could eventually answer you by email if we don't have time at the end of the webinar and if you need to leave. And so now, last but not least, I would like to give the floor to Mrs. Noemí Julián Villar from the Foundation Innovazione Urbana Rusconi Ghigi, which is the foundation which collaborates with the municipality on citizens' participation and involvement, especially when urban transformation happens. So we invited the foundation to tell you the experience we had in the framework of the SPINE project, which is a project funded through the Horizon Europe program for research and innovation, and which focuses on the promotion of public transport and sustainable mobility. And through this project, we involved the schools in the co-design of some mobility services for a selection of mobility hubs in the city. So, Noemí, please, if you want to share your presentation and tell us your experience.
Can you see the screen?
Yes.
Okay. So thank you, Silvia, very much for the explanation of SPINE. I will go directly to the participatory process. The process had two phases. One is the needs collection. So we did some surveys, interviews, and focus groups. And then the phase that we will focus on today is the one of co-designing with the schools. We did these two different activities. First of all, we tried to make children and students to empathize with the needs of different people. We started giving them an activity to do with their parents at home. Then we did a site inspection and collaborative mapping with personas cards. Sorry. And then we came back to school to tell to the others what they have mapped. Then they did a co-design exercise. Now we will see in detail what was it about. The first activity then was the card that they needed to fill at home. They were asked, how do you usually go from school to your house? And how could you go from house to school with other means of transport, to make them speak to their parents at home about intermodality. There was the explanation of what multimodality and intermodality is, what SPINE is doing in Bologna, and then they had this card to fill in. Then when we were at school, the first activity that they had to do was to use these personas cards to empathize with other people's needs. So they were divided in 8 groups, and each group had a personas card. They read the description of the personas, and then the group was asked to get in the skin of these people, and then we fill in this. We asked them to fill in this book about the information of the mobility apps, if they were accessible and inclusive for the personas of the group. So we went to the mobility apps, and we had this hour and a half to walk around the station, and each one of the 8 groups needed to fill in the book and to respond to the questions about accessibility and inclusion of the mobility app. After that, we came back to school, and each group shared with the other groups the information that they had collected and their feelings about the accessibility and the inclusion of the Mobility Hub. We created this huge poster with the accessibility and inclusion needs of the Mobility Hub. And then they were asked to divide in 3 groups and to co-design 3 different things. First of all, one of the groups was asked to co-design the wayfinding, but obviously considering the accessibility and inclusion needs that they had collected before. So to make sure that every person can move in this Mobility Hub, how could we do this, the wayfinding? They had these maps, the 3D maps, and then they were designing on the maps in a transparent paper the signature and how the wayfinding could be. They had some references of wayfinding colored on the ground and vertical wayfinding. And then each group proposed some different wayfindings. Another group was asked to co-design the games that could be painted on the pavement of the Mobility Hub, so that children could play while waiting for the different means of transport. And as well, they were asked to do it in an accessible way, so they needed to think of games painted on the ground, but also accessible for other people. So maybe not just painted, but with other kinds of interaction. And the third group and last was asked to co-design an artistic installation to promote intermodality. So they were asked to do these arrows in which they could say how to reach a place that they like with different means of transport. As you can see there, some of them said some other countries or cities around the world, but also commerces that they like. And then they needed to write also which means of transport should they need to take to go to these places. And with this activity, we finished the co-design of the installation, the games, and the wayfinding. And then we got all together and shared with the others what they had co-designed. Thank you very much, Silvia. I accelerated because we were running out of time.
Thanks a lot to you, Noemí. So we are at the end of our webinar. I don't see any question in the chat. So Glykeria, either we have been too clear or too boring. I don't know, but hope the first one. So I invite the participants to post questions if they have, or to write to us later also.
It's Emilia. Can you hear me?
Emilia.
Yes.
Hi, Emilia.
I'm sorry, I don't know why the camera is not working. Let me check like this, maybe. I'm not so sure. I just have one question. Regarding the project that was with these connections with different models of transport, I just didn't understand what kind of agreement was not signed, and is the project now on stop because of that agreement? The commercial, I think, agreement was not signed as I follow on the screen.
Do you mean the MAS project, the Mobility as a Service?
Yes.
One? Okay, so this is a question for...
Because it was very, I mean, everything was very interesting, but I didn't understand regarding that. Is the project now stopped because of this not commercial agreement signed? Thank you.
I hope to understand. I don't know if Lorenzo is in, but I can reply to the question. Thank you for your question, Emilia. the project work, Lorenzo probably underlined the difficult to sign agreement between different company to sell ticket in a unique platform. Because inside the commercial agreement there are some problem connected the interest for the company that for example bicycle sharing or TPL or other type of company that have to sign an agreement to sell the ticket in a unique platform. The system work for some company, not for all, because in a system like Mossa you can integrate it from bicycle to a car or taxi or bus, so you can involve different type of operator, and for the operator more related to commercial aspect could be difficult to involve and engage in this unique system. But the system at the moment work not with all the operators, so probably Lorenzo underlined this difficult aspect. I hope to reply to your question in.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you for your question. Thank you, Silvia.
Yeah, we are working with the government and the association of transport operator to improve a standard agreement to facilitate this difficult with signing a new agreement with the operator. I think we have to communicate better with this organization. The way of the mass, no? I think we can achieve the result of onboarding new mass operator on the regional platform.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Claudio and Lorenzo, for answering the question. And are there any other questions from the participants? Okay. So if not, thank you so much for joining, despite the summer period. We hope it was useful, and hopefully we will stay in touch with us through our communication channels. Website is in the chat now, so follow us and keep in touch, and we'll keep you posted on the next TERRAIN webinar. Glykeria, I don't know if you want to have the final word.
No, we all thank you and wish you a nice summer time. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.